know. Thank you for following my group, Jali's Workshop and Friends.
Hello everyone. I'm not sure if I have my camera in the right place. I'm just checking to see. I gotta turn this down, my second device. Okay, here we are. It's just me, Colleen Tepper, with a couple of tra-la-las. I'm just waiting for Yadi to share me in, but I'm gonna go to my page to see how my camera is setting up. Okay. Oh, I have a runny nose. I don't know if it's been so dry out that it's because of the dust and everything outside. I have stuffed up runny nose. Okay, it looks like my camera's okay. Hi Yvonne, how are you? But I'm just going to share my video. Okay. And I'm gonna get ready to start here. I'm in an event today with Yadi's Workshop and Friends, and it's a nautical event. And I pre-did some stuff, so I'm going to put my camera up so I can get started. And I just want to make sure that it's down so you can see my project. I'm going to go to Yadi's group now. Okay. I am not in the group yet, but I want to welcome you to the event today in Yadi's Workshop and Friends. And today we are doing a nautical event. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us up today. So it started at noon, and I am the last presenter. And I'm just going to see if she's got me in there yet. No, she does not. So she said she had to go early, so there I am. And okay, so I'm gonna check and see if it's. Hi Jan. Hi Grace. How are you? Thank you for spreading the blessings. Hi Fatima. Hi Carol Ann. Hi Yvonne. Okay, so I'm just waiting for it to. My phone is so strange now. Today the camera is close to me. It is so strange. Okay, let me check and see. Okay, now you can see. Okay, so I did do the background and I painted the scene in white so I don't have to sit and spend so many coats on everything. So it's a little beach scene with a lighthouse off on a little island that's there with a sailboat. So we're gonna start the painting. I'm sorry that it's upside down. We've lost our ability with the camera. So, okay, let's get everything set up here. And I brought my fan in the room and moved it closer to me. I am so warm. Well, I'm having a cup of cold coffee too, and that could have something to do with it. Okay, so we're going to start out. I'm going to put in the waves first, and then I'll base coat this stuff in. I was losing my design, so I wanted to... I got a little fly in here. I wanted to get that in and save it before I lost it totally. So, and the sign is this sign is going to be in the water, okay? Because the piece was so small, and you know how the waves go into the sand onto the beach. So we'll do another little one here. And then we're just going to come across with some white streaks. And then I'm going to take a little bit of brown and go here. Right after this, I'm jumping into another class, and I did not know we were having a class tonight. My girlfriend told me about it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You know what, I put the shading on the wrong side. I'm going to bring this like this. I'm a little wound up. I don't drink coffee very often. I put the shading on the wrong side. I'm going to try and fix that. But I figured I was tired when I came up here to start my painting. And I just wanted to get a little bit of zip. Okay. This is the side that the shading should be on. I don't know what I was doing. So has everyone been on? Oh, thank you, Susan. How are you? Hi, Angie. Thank you. Well, you know, I have taken a lot of classes and painted with a lot of different artists, so I am a little self-taught, but I have had classes, so and I've been painting for 30 years. I'm not gonna lie, I've got a lot of hours into painting here. I don't like how that looks there, so I'm going to put a little bit more of a wave right here to try and cover up some of that line in the sand. And I'll come in with a little brown right under there too. That might help hide some of that. I haven't painted an ocean since I think last year. So okay. Then I painted the ocean in turquoise, and I'm using Indian turquoise to do the shading. It's a little darker, and I'm just putting some underneath the waves here, and it looks like water, I think. So I think we're good as far as that goes. I won't need to do much more with the water, but I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to put some clouds here, and I'm going to use a little brush. And we'll see what we can do here. I don't want to make them too, I gotta pounce harder because you can see the brush things, and I don't want that. I want them to kind of work themselves into the background. You know, just some little clouds. Let me just go in with a little bit of water to make them work themselves thinner and lighter. And okay, we'll see what that looks like, and we'll see how that goes into the background there. So then I'm gonna paint the surfboards. I'm gonna paint those tan first. And I'm using burlap. It is 93 degrees here today. And 51 or 52% humidity. Oh no. So these surfboards are stuck in the sand, okay? They're just more of a decoration. And this one goes off. I have a frame to put around it also, but I got a little carried away with my size here. But it should be okay. And then I want to paint some of the signs tan. And I'll put color, you know, some color over those, but I want it to look like a piece of wood. So we'll do this. And tan. I want to move this because my forearm is sticking to it. I don't like that. And I'm trying to go fast so I can get it done. Because, you know, I'm the slowest painter in the West. I went to the Dollar Tree yesterday and they had these headbands there. So I got a headband and I got a pineapple. I got a pineapple. And I did get some other summer decorations. We're having a summer event at the end of the month and a sale in my painting. It's not my painting group, but a painting group I am in. So I'm gonna decorate up my background a little bit. I think that'll be fun. And I wanted to try the headband to see how it would look. It's just from the Dollar Tree. So, but I thought it looked fun. I kind of worked on and off this most of the day today. My husband, last night I was in a different event, and my husband went to the races yesterday, and he got sick. He got like heat stroke. He actually couldn't drive home. Someone had to bring him home. One of the guys drove our motor home. home because he was not doing well. So okay. So I'm going to paint I'm going to leave the lighthouse white. I am going to I got to do that island. I forgot about that. Otherwise, this is going to just be sitting out in the middle of nowhere. And I did hand draw this stuff, so if it's not proportioned correctly, that is why. I got out a pencil and drew this stuff today. I'm gonna let that dry some. Let's work on this little island here. That shouldn't take too long at all. And I am going to use this brush. I do not have, oh, I got these. Let's see if these work. We're gonna just try and, it's not gonna be stone, it's gonna be green. Just to see how we can get that in there. It's like a little peninsula that comes out. That was my vision. And medium hauser. I'm trying to use as little paint as I can because my air conditioning that I put in here, my little fan, is drying my paint out. And let's try this to give it a few little highlights. See if I can make it look like there's some waves coming up on there. Some, little foam or whatever. I'm just dabbing some white paint on there. Okay, so I want to come just around here again, and come around here, and I'm going to paint this surfboard a burgundy color, or barn red. And I probably should be letting it dry, the other paint. So I'm gonna do that. I'll just get this in there and I'll let that dry. And then let's do this one orange. I'm just gonna kind of go up like this. that dry. And I'm not real sure what surfboards look like, but I know they have colors and stuff on them. And I'm not too worried about this because the frame glues onto it. Once again, this is an event with Yachty's Workshop and Friends. And it is a nautical event today. And I'm not real good at nautical, but I'm trying it, so. Still wet. Yes, he is better today. And you know, he just had a heart valve replacement 2 weeks ago, and they gave him the okay to do things this last week, but to take it slow. And he was not supposed to probably be out in the heat like he was. My son called today to see how he was because they were together, and he said, you know, he couldn't even walk hardly. He was cramping up and stuff. So when he got home, he said he told me what happened. And I don't know. He's crazy. I mean, I was worried about him. But we got up at 7. My granddaughter, we have a dead tree, actually 2 of them in our back here, and the boys were going to cut those down for us. And she says, do you care if we come up and cut the trees down today? And my husband said, oh no, today it's going to be too hot. So he really, I don't want to do great. He didn't really want to go outside to cut down a tree today. Whoops. These are little signs. I figured I'd have welcome, ocean, and bar. What color should we make that middle one? How about, we'll do it in orange. I was going to do that blue, but I don't want to do it, I don't want it to mess around with the blue on the background. What color is this? Red? Yellow? Get yellow out, we'll do yellow up here. Okay. So let's put another coat on the lighthouse. Make sure all the water is out of my brush. go back to my round brush. Well, I'll get a littler flat to do the peak on it. This is like kitty wampus, but we'll try and straighten it out a little bit. Okay, and we'll let that dry a little bit. We'll put another coat of white in the sails. And we'll come up with a pole through the middle. And give them a red flag here. Oops. Okay. So we're going to hit this with the blow dryer a little bit. Okay. So for the lighthouse, yeah, it did scare him. He got scared yesterday. He usually don't say too much about you know, if he gets sick or anything. He usually just toughs it out. And when he came in the house, he told me he had an incident at the track. And, you know, he probably shouldn't be going there when it's so hot. I told him, are you sure you guys want to go race today? And he said, yep. And my son said today, he goes, yeah, Dad was saying, yeah, some of the tracks canceled because of the heat and stuff. Well, there's a reason why they did. He knows now why they did. And I sent a change of clothes with him. And I said, if you ever get overheated again, go in the bathroom and put water on yourself. Put it all over your clothes and everything. Who cares? Because that cools you down quickly. You know, besides the water and everything. And I said, just get in water. They got a hose at the track. Even if you go squirt your body down with the hose, it looks like I'm stopped up on my second device. Can you guys still see me? It's a piece of wood, and it's a 6x6 piece of wood. And what I did is Angie, I bought these frames, and they come in pieces, and I just pound them together. But this is what I'm going to put on here afterwards. I did paint this with a brown, and I put a crackle on it. So it looks like I'm still live, I think. I don't know if I am or not. But I put a crackle on it, and I will just glue it to the back of here. That's what I've been doing. I bought a case of these frames, and they're working out pretty good. I mean, I painted all these little things yesterday on the 6x6s. So I'll put those in a frame, and I do sell stuff. So that's why I bought them. I can sell it for not as an expensive item, and the people like it. I've been selling quite a few of them. So, okay, this is all dry. So I'm going to shade. I'm going to get rid of this because I think I'm done with it. And start with a new piece. I'm going to shade the surfboards. And I'm just going to go around them. And fix those up. I've been having some trouble with my internet. I don't know if it's the heat or what, but and they say sometimes that fans can interfere with your Wi-Fi too. So I do have 2 fans going up here, but I am not going to turn the fans off because it is hot up here compared to the rest of the house, and I need the fans. I'd be dying up here, and especially I'm on the side of the house right now where the sun is setting, and I've got a little baby fly in here that's been driving me nuts. But I am on the back of the house where the sun is setting, and there is a tree that blocks the direct sun from my window, but it's still, the back of the house gets hot. It's the hottest part of the day, you know. So I'm just kind of shading around these to make them look a little older and ocean worn. So I have switched to painting fall for my shows. I do shows in the fall, and I have switched to fall. So what do you think? Should our lighthouse have a blue stripe, like a jean color blue, and then a blue roof, or what do you think we should do there? Because I'm only going to put one stripe on it. That fly is everywhere. Shade the boat a little bit. It might be a little dark, but too much water in my brush, so I'm just going to use a Q-tip to suck the color off of it. just gonna get my paint is hardening on my wet palette over here from the air blowing right on me. I'm not sure how I don't like that board. It looks muddy, don't it? I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's go back to the original color and work some of that out. Okay. That's how we're gonna leave it. Okay, let's figure out where we're going to put that stripe on this lighthouse. I think we'll go like that. All my paint is getting dry over here. I'm going to do it with a, I was going to do it with a different blue. That I'm going to shade it with that color. Let's do it with this color here. It's a little bit brighter. It needs to be shooken up. Always shake your paint. Black stripes? Alright, I'll do black. It's just going to have one stripe. That's all I trust myself with. Well, maybe we can do a little one over here. Let's see. I just kind of want to do it in the corner. I better come all the way across. I gotta put a rail on there yet. I don't know if I did that right. I don't think I did. Give it a black with them too. I don't think that top one's quite right, but I'm going to leave it because it's black. It's got a little bib on, I guess. And I'm going to do this yellow because it's all lit up. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to do... What color did I paint that? I'll do these with, I'm just going to do this down the middle. That little fly is looking for trouble. He's going to get some. They say that if you put that apple cider vinegar in a little cup that it'll take away the flies, and it does work. I got them really bad in here last year. They tend to like to live in my waste paper basket because there's so much wet paper towels in there. That's still wet. Okay, I gotta dry that better before I. When I shade that, it'll make it look a little better. It's not quite ready to shade. Let's see, what else do I have to do? Should we, I got lots of time left. Should we make a, well, I'll fix the ground around there a little bit better. I want a different kind of brush. I did not like that brush. I had no control over it when I have some dry brushers. I'm gonna use that. Just as a little pouncing brush. As hard as a rock. I'm going to have to change that before my class. This is a dry brush, and I'm not using it as a dry brush, but I don't really have a little pouncing brush. Not turning out the way I wanted to, but we'll just keep moving on. It's one of those days. Okay. Shade the bottom of this lighthouse. And I'm going to shade around that house to straighten it out. I'm not real happy with my skills on that. So we'll fix it up with some shadowing. always helps. Okay, that looks a little better. But I will use a dry brush now. I'm just gonna, I think it's dry enough. Round it up a little bit there. Make the front of it come closer to us. And I'm just going to go a little bit on here too to bring that back to brighter white. And I am going to shade the sails. And I'm going to shade them on the inside, not on the outside, on the inside, next to the, where they're connected to the, okay, I think the picture is done as far as that goes, but I'm going to shade around these things too. It'll help those, and then I have a little black marker that I'm going to write the words in there. I'm not going to try and do it with I'm not going to try and do it with a brush. I'll choke. Well, this still isn't mixed up. This is almost empty one I had. The other one's a new bottle. I just took the thing off of. I couldn't find it earlier. So we're going to try and, it's a brighter blue, but we're going to go around the signs with this real quick, just to clean them up a little bit. And I probably should do something to the post. I gotta, and I'm not real good with the markers either, but we're gonna try it. I mean, I've used them. We'll try and see what it turns out like. And this is just bringing this sign closer to us. to to that little peninsula there. I'm just going to leave that. Oh, you're welcome, Yanni. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Fatima. That is very nice of you. Okay. So I'm just going to hit this. I'm going to get rid of these because I'm done with these colors and half of them are hard. And I'm going to put this on my wet palette and cover it up for now. And let's look and see what kind of markers we got here. I'm going to use black. And I got to get medium, fine. Okay, let's get a fine one out. And here on this one, I'm going to write beach. Okay. Welcome. And I'm not using perfect lettering because you've seen those signs that they have, and then I'm going to put bar. There's always a bar at the beach. Okay. So this is what it looks like here. And I did do this before time, but I do have a little bit of time right now that I can, I have one painted, so I can crackle one for you so you can see how I did it. But this is how it will look in the frame. Okay. I'm just looking on my second device. And you can see the whole lighthouse and the signs and stuff. So I think that it fits in there okay. So that's what that's going to look like. And I'll show you how I did the frame, okay? So the frame comes in pieces. It comes in 4 pieces, and they're rustic. I mean, like this one had a thing in there. I think they're for canvas is what I think they're for. So, let me get a crusty brush and I'll show you how I did this. And this is what we're painting in our painting class tonight. It's a little ornament. So, let me get that back in there. And I'm going to set these over here so they're out of the way. So I painted this with truffle in Waverly chalk paint is what I did. And I'm using glue on I'm using glue for my crackle medium, because the glue, when I use the glue, it gives me that big crackle. When I am going to paint something over the crackle, I do not use the glue. So I'm just dipping in the glue and I'm brushing it on like this. And I don't do the sides. And what I'll do is I'll put the okay. So I'm going to rinse that brush out. I don't crackle the sides. I do paint them, but I paint them like I did it roughly. Like I did it not real good. So it's the color, but I don't crackle the sides or the inside. I did put varnish on this already too, so that it would hold up to it. Okay, so I don't need to let this dry or anything. So instead of putting the ocean color on it, I will put on something that matches this. So I did crackle this when I painted it too, but let's do the purple, and it will have the brown show through. We'll do purple, and you'll be able to see what that looks like. So I'm using, it's a crusty brush, and it's a brush that I use for my glue crackle. That's what I use every time I use the crackle, is I use this brush, and it's all separated. It's just a crusty brush, and I don't use it for anything else but that. So I used purple petal on that. That's what I used on the boo. So I'm going to make it purple petal. And I have it on a piece of cardboard. Well, that's not open. So we're going to do haze. I'm just going to do purple cow. It's almost the same color. Maybe that's what I used, because the other one isn't open yet. Okay, so it's wet still, right? And a lot of paint is going on it. But see how it's starting to crackle already? See that? Now, the glue takes a while to dry. So I did that frame this morning for the nautical. I did it this morning, and I did it on this cardboard, and I set it aside, and then I came up, I just let it dry. I didn't do any blow drying it or anything. I just let it dry, and I left it there. And once I came back upstairs and it felt dry and wasn't tacky, sometimes it takes till overnight to dry it too. So once that happened, I did the inside. Once it felt dry, I did the inside with the color, and then I did the outside. Because this is so fragile, because the glue underneath it is still wet. See how nice it's crackling? So I'll set this aside, and I won't touch it because I'll scuff up the paint and stuff on it. And that's why I did it on a piece of cardboard, so that I can set it aside and let it dry. The paint is drying already over here, but the glue's still wet underneath it. I mean, I can move this paint around on it if I try, if I touch it and try it. But it crackles nice, and that's what that'll look like. So I think that's pretty cute. That's a cute little thing that they can put on their, I sell them with an easel, you know, when I sell them, so they can sit it on their counter. I can put a purple and orange and green bow, or black and orange or whatever bow up here, and I'll varnish it all and stuff. But that's the crackle. The glue crackle works really nice, but you got to have patience. So I'm going to just set this aside because I only have a few minutes left. I'm going to set this over here so that I'm going to set that over like that, and then I'm going to, okay. And this is a close-up of the event we did today. And I will use quick and thick Titebond glue. That's what I'll put on here, and that will be the finished product. I am not going to put a bow on here probably. I'll probably just leave this like this because I don't think the ocean is real bowy. But I'll just leave it like that, and that'll be it. And thank you. I used Titebond glue. It's a different form of Titebond like this. That's what I used as Titebond glue. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you, Yadi. It was great being in your event today. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming on and watching me. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.